Hello and welcome to my twin flame journey. I am Shine and this is going to be April's reading for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. And please be sure to check your Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus to get additional messages. Also keep in mind that these readings are general, so take what resonates and leave the rest. If you'd like a personal reading, all the information is below. And certain things that I describe in the reading could be pertaining to you or the person you're dealing with. So again, apply it as it fits, but don't force things to fit, of course. What else do I want to say? I think that's it. I'll save the other thing for the end. What we have here is what you're going to be dealing with, what Spirit's advice is in regards to it, why you're dealing with this, what you're thinking, feeling, or doing or wanting to do about the situation, what the higher message involved is, which means an aspect that you might not be seeing or that you need to see. This is your advice. This is what you need to be aware of, what you need to address. Again, same as like this. In order to have a positive outcome, the outcome that you're hoping for. This is the possible outcome should you follow this advice. But again, remember, we're dealing with people's free will. So this is the possible outcome, but it also would take the other person involved to be willing to partake, etc. Because I get a lot of people saying, well, I followed the advice and I said this and I did this, but they still whatever. It's like, well, what these readings do, they can tell you what happened in the past with definite explanations. They can tell you what's happening presently as far as thoughts, feelings, etc. And any future predictions or possibilities, this is, what they're hoping for you, or what might be possible, again, should both people be on the same page. It's not future predicting like for sure this is what's going to happen, again, because it takes two. It's people's free will choices are involved, but it's a possibility that's there. It's the energy that's available to you if you learn how to work it, you and the other person involved. So keep that in mind as well. And then we'll clarify. And if I have to check, because I'm using the reversals, I'm going to have to check my paper. And I always check my notes because these cards hold so many meanings. And I don't want to leave anything out that I might feel should be included in the message. And I said and sometimes the brain can't hold all the information, So let us see what we got. We got the Seven of Wands in the reverse. We have the Six of Swords. We have the Page of Cups in the reverse. And then we have the Four of Swords. Now, this is obviously about trying to come out of conflict, trying to move forward in a positive way, leave behind, the negative things of the past and move to calmer waters. This could also symbolize, a need to travel, maybe leave one's present situation to be with someone else. It could be overseas, different city, state, country. Page of Cups in reverse. I'm going to get into more detailed things, but Page of Cups in reverse is about, maybe being afraid to make an offer or someone's not accepting your offer. Delayed offers. This is also about, in regards to, could be love, friendship, soulmates, whatever it is. We'll get into it. This is obviously, taking time out, taking time to reflect, to try to rest the mind from all this conflict that you might be feeling in regards to a situation of what to do. Seems to be the theme with many people. They're kind of like, should I stay? Should I go? What, is all lost? Or, is there a possibility to reconnect? Or, Some people are finally coming into an awareness of things, aspects about themselves that they didn't realize stemmed from childhood wounding, has affected all of their relationships, has affected their life, and they're kind of getting these wake-up calls. Um, that a lot of the reason why they're in their current circumstances comes from their own free will choices, and those choices might have been made in error because we were approaching things again from a wounded place, from a childhood wounding place, self-sabotaging ourselves, our relationships, whatever it is. So this is, trying to reflect on things, take a little bit of a time out to figure out your next move on how to proceed or what to do. So let us look. If there's any other details here, Seven of Wands in reverse is giving up, feeling overwhelmed. It's about being overly protective. Again, maybe in a sense of trying to protect ourselves, protect our reputation, protect our whatever. Again, hiding behind masks, lying to cover up lies. Again, because we're in protection mode. Because again, this is a learned behavior due to conditioning, due to wounding, and it could have played a part in your self-sabotaging relationships, being in relationships where you control things, so you can feel safe and secure, because when we feel out of control, we feel vulnerable. And if you grew up in a hostile environment, if you grew up, in where love looked jacked up to you, or you didn't have positive role models, you might have a way of dealing with your emotions where you kind of try to protect yourself, but it's in an unhealthy way. Feeling overwhelmed by challenges, responsibilities, competing against others, feeling vulnerable. Like I said, and that could be fear, afraid, inadequate, not good enough. Again, it's that stinking thinking, that conditioned childhood wounding, woe is me, pity parties, or again, self-sabotatory thoughts, keeping us stuck, not feeling good enough, not feeling we're worthy of love, whatever it is, whatever story that you keep, whatever movie that you keep replaying or reliving with different characters. It's a need to build self-esteem and confidence. Again, being in fear. There's a lot of people fearful of looking in the mirror, fearful of admitting to certain things that they do, or certain ways of being that they've embodied their whole life. Again, understanding that maybe it was because of me after all, because we can't always blame other things. We have to accept responsibility for ourselves and where we are in life. And it all stems from choices, and those choices stem from our beliefs, and our beliefs stem from our conditioning. So it's all rooted in childhood. It's, again, a need to build self-esteem and confidence, and to have faith that you can achieve whatever it is that you're setting out to achieve here. It's feeling judged or criticized, being questioned, staying in a challenging relationship, avoiding conflict. Again, by, some people, and when they're in that protection mode, they lie to cover up their lies. They avoid holding themselves accountable. They try to sweep things under the rug. They try to, get the other person, they try to gaslight, try to get the other person to see things differently, so it keeps them in a positive light. Like whatever methods that you use, that's got to go. Avoiding ourselves, avoiding the truth of ourselves, to avoid inner conflict. It's about compromise, a need to give in, a need to compromise, give in to one's, it's a compromise in a way that it can benefit both parties. Never compromise yourself you know, and it's going to have a negative effect. Um, it's taking things too far, being overly aggressive about protecting one's turf. Again, if you're trying to be in control of how you're perceived or how whatever methods that you use based from that wounding, this is something that's coming to the surface here. Because what we have here is we have swords, which is mental thinking, cups, which is dealing with our emotions or a lack of dealing with them. Same thing with the wands. It's about, our passions, our enthusiasm, our drive. And then you're in the reverse here. We have Six of Swords. Like I said, it could be about moving on, moving forward, leaving something behind for something better, leaving the difficulties of the past behind for something better. This could be about travel. This is sadness or loss as one moves away from the past, moving towards a more promising future. Because it's like a bittersweet thing. Some of you might have to leave certain relationships that you're in that were karmic and codependent because you jumped into that after you left something else, or you just jumped into that and realizing that that's not what you want or what's in your highest and best, or for anybody's highest and best, or it's needing to move on from a situation again that isn't serving you well. Moving away from turmoil, conflict, and towards peace. It's tranquility, even though they are sad to leave behind the past. It's the power of the rational mind over the heart and intuition. And that's why you get the swords here. You're in thinking mode. It's the process of letting go that is challenging. However, sadness is replaced by clarity and renewed acceptance of change. Again, knowing that you can't stay stuck. You can't keep being the same way, or you can't keep staying in things that aren't making you happy. It's looking towards the future for the greatest long-term potential. Thinking what's right in the long term. It's a rite of passage. It's a new phase in life. It's hard decisions and compromises. It's heading towards a much better life, out with the old and in with the new. And then I said the Page of Cups is about, delayed offers. It's also emotional immaturity, creative block, emotional troubles, escaping with drugs or alcohol, because the cups in reverse sometimes refer to that as well. Addictions or escape coping mechanisms. It's feeling emotionally insecure, takes more than they give. It's a lack of self-love and self-acceptance again, because if we were always made to feel like we weren't good enough or we were neglected, that's how we maneuver in life. Somebody who could be emotionally abusive, unfocused emotions, rampant, gets hurt easily, even if it's unwarranted, suspicious, self-doubting, selfish, easily depressed, childlike tantrums. Especially if you have childhood wounds, you're going to behave in that way. Self-doubting, I already said that. Loss of emotional control in adversity, being overly dependent on others, again, being in codependent situations, acting without thinking, promises not kept, meaningless commitments, again, just having needs met and voids filled, but there's no love there, really. It's just pacifying some wounds of loneliness or fear of abandonment or not having our, stuff together, so we're always dependent on other people. Again, this could also just be about afraid to make an offer, being conflicted, still trying to hold on to those ways, controlling ways, and just feeling uncertain in how to go about heading towards something better. And of course, the Four of Swords, it says there's the key issue that's dominating your life at this time. It's a period of rest and recovery after a time of challenge with promise that once recovered, you can and will return to it. Means you have to face it. We all have to face the music at some point. We all have to face ourselves. We all have to face the consequences of our actions, of our choices. You know, there's something that you need to deal with. You can't keep running from it, or it's going to keep plaguing you. It's going to keep weighing heavy on your mind. It's going to keep you repeating cycles. It's going to keep you stuck. It's a time to stay silent and inactive in order to build up your mental strength, to meditate, to replenish your strength. Spend time in spiritual thinking. Again, trying to follow higher guidance, trying to connect with your higher self, your spirit guides, trying to look for some kind of, try to find your light to help guide you out of whatever darkness that you might be in. It's using the rest wisely to heal the body and ready the mind, a sign to stop worrying, to put down your defenses, because this is all about defenses and the upright, standing your ground. And maybe it's time to lay that down, lay that way of being down, be more open. Take a breather from the chaos, but the battle isn't over. It's a need to face it. And the advice in regards to all of that is communication. A lot of people are needing, without communication, there's no clarity. People don't know where they stand. Miscommunication can happen. Silent treatments don't work for nobody. Avoiding talks, avoiding, revealing thyself. There's a need for communication to resolve this issue that you're dealing with. You're going to need to open up. This situation requires very precise and careful communication. Don't assume that others involved understand what you want or need from them. In-person discussions are preferable, but if that's not possible, make sure that your communication method is very thorough. This card can indicate that there has been a miscommunication that is creating a challenge for the parties involved. By clearing up any misunderstandings, you can heal the situation so that everyone can again start moving forward. Like I said, it's about talking it out, especially if you've been avoiding doing that. And a couple of these cards on the bottom have come out for, I've done Pisces and Cancer. So if you have other water elements in your sign, in your chart, then it's worth definitely checking out, your sun, your moon, your rising, as well as your Venus, because your sun sign is your personality, what you present to the world. Your moon sign deals with your emotions. That's why usually with love and stuff like that. And in your rising sign is what you should be aspiring towards in this life. You have your south node and your north node. Your south node is your karmic house. It's what you came from. It's what you've brought in from past lives. And your north node is through the course of your life, you should be evolving and aspiring to become or embody the positive traits of whatever your north node sign is, your rising sign. And then, of course, the Venus deals with love. So that's why it's important to kind of check out those other ones, because you can get a more comprehensive understanding of yourself and of your situation. Now, why this is all happening is because, somebody wants to reconcile. Somebody wants a new beginning. Someone wants to move forward. Someone has gained some wisdom, has matured through this situation. They got the fair gray-haired man. It could be an older gentleman as well, someone in their 40s and up. And then we have the hidden enemy. Now, this is either you hiding behind the mask, hiding behind the curtains, being your own worst enemy, needing to get out of your own way, self-sabotaging behaviors. You know, this could be you behaving in a deceptive way. This could be you not knowing if you're being viewed as this, or you probably know if you've been behaving in a not such a great way. Um, but this is also, you could be feeling like the person that you're trying to get back with or connect with, you might feel is you're uncertain about them because they're uncertain about you. We said that's what they're saying. Communicate. You gotta clear the air because you want good fortune. You want things to turn around for the better. You want these karmic ways of being and karmic cycles to end. And the troubleshooter, this is somebody who can be cunning and deceptive. But this is also about, troubleshooting, trying to figure out a way to change things around, to move forward, to have a new beginning, to show that you've grown, that you're not being like this anymore, or to get this person to not see you like that anymore, or to not be at odds with you because you're showing them growth and change. It's you trying to figure out a way. That's why you're in contemplation mode. But they're telling you the best way to figure out a way is to communicate. Because without communication, there's a breakdown in a relationship, and trust gets lost, and this is just a mess. Communication is very important. Clear, honest communication. Now let us see. We got some clarifying here. I was hoping that all of these readings were going to be just a half an hour each because I got so many to do. The last two went about an hour. And we're already 22 minutes in, but I don't know. Let's hope, because I'm going to be here till like 2 in the morning doing these because I'm behind a little bit. Let us see. Fair gray-haired man. Oh, we got Grand Signore, but reversed. The gray-haired man. That's somebody that's not so swift. And we have Bambino in the reverse. Same as like new beginnings here, new starts. But that's, again, if you're someone who's learned from this experience, you learned that the way you were behaving before, it isn't working, especially if you've been trying to reconcile with somebody that isn't working, and that's why there hasn't been any new beginning. So maybe you're again reflecting on that, you've come into some wisdom in regards to that. Let me do one more. Because Grand Signore in reverse is somebody who's emotionally manipulative, deceptive. It could be someone who's narcissistic or behaving in that manner, selfish, self-serving. So it's not, like I said, it's not a good card. Malto we have in reverse, and then Militare in reverse. Malto in the upright deals with like depression or low morale. And Militare is about strategizing. It's kind of like the troubleshooter card, strategizing or something that's difficult or challenging. But you got all reversals here. So that's what's caused maybe you're reflecting again on your behaviors. Or if this isn't you, this is the person you're dealing with. Like I said, apply it as it goes. You could have been dealing with somebody who was like that. and you're wanting things to change, and you're wanting to reconcile, you're wanting to move forward, but you feel like they're a hidden enemy, and you're hoping things turn out for the better, and you try to figure out, is there a way? Because again, this Page of Cups in reverse is also dealing with somebody who could be emotionally manipulative, who could be act immature, and of course that all stems from their own wounding. Because healthy, normal people engage in a completely different way than those that are a little bit broken. And many people go through life not even realizing that that is the stuff that needs to address so it can turn their life around. They'll spend their whole life broken, blaming everything else on their life and their circumstances. And really, it's their thoughts, their behaviors, their patterns, their choices. They keep repeating the same stuff because they haven't learned that it's them. That's the issue. It's them that's in charge of their life, their choices, how they treat people, what they say, what they do. And if they're approaching everything from a deceptive way, or from I need to protect myself, so or using people as ends to means, or whatever it is that they're doing that's not working, it's because they have yet to realize that they gotta do something to change themselves if they want things to change. It's like you can't expect the world to change for you. It's like you have to change yourself. You know. Let's see. I haven't got all these reversals, like I said, so bear with me. Grand Signore, duh. Grand Signore in the reverse, again, is a tyrant, someone who's unfaithful, someone who has vices. Again, could be gambling, drugs, alcohol, sex addictions. Sorry, too much on the porn sites, or, again, being unfaithful, manipulative, debauchery. Someone who's just out for their own stuff, which again is very narcissistic. And then Malto in reverse, crisis, coldness, non-development, feeling confined or a blocked situation. Again, wanting to reconcile, wanting a new beginning, but the situation is blocked, and it's probably blocked because somebody is still behaving the same way they always have, because that kind of worked in the past, sweeping things under the rug or whatever it is, emotionally manipulating, or again controlling the situation how we want it to be by not being completely honest or truthful. But again, it's backfiring, because whoever you were dealing with, if you were trying to deal with somebody, maybe they're not dealing with you because you've been presenting yourself the same old way. So that's why all this self-reflection is going on. Again, it could be you or the person you're dealing with. And you're trying to figure out a way again to unblock the situation, to move forward, to have this new beginning. Here's the military. Hidden matters, secrets. Again, being secretive, deceptive, hidden agendas, insecurities as well. Conflict. It says conflict with authority, but because this card also deals with, the law, the police, and stuff like that. But I think it's more just all in our feelings, and it's due to, again, our behaviors, our ways of being, hidden intentions, being deceptive, secrets. Again, there's like a reflection or a growth happening here for somebody in regards to that. Now, somehow, all is Bambino. Indecision, uncertainty, hesitation, slow movement, lack of development. Again, it's because this person's Gran Senora in reverse. You can't move. You can't move forward if you're still stuck in the past ways of being. Something's got to change. Um, so again, the hidden enemy could be you being your own worst enemy, shooting yourself in the foot. What you're thinking, feeling, or doing, or want to do in regards to the situation. We got talent, which is obviously trying to find a way to express how we feel, to come up with a solution. We have the dark-haired woman. So again, this could be the person you're trying to reconcile with, who's not too happy with you because of your past behaviors, who's probably hurt or a little bit bitter or whatever, because maybe there's been no communication, poor communication, or again, whatever communication that's been had, it's just been more the same old, same old. You know, people again not wanting to hold themselves accountable, people lying to cover up their lies, again, showing no growth, no change, no remorse, no nothing. So you're trying to figure out a way how to have this person not feel this way towards you anymore. You know, we got the hidden enemy here. Maybe they view you as an enemy, someone who does not have their best interest at heart, because you don't even have your own best interest at heart. Because if you did, you wouldn't behave the way you do. But you behave the way you do because of your wounding, which again, most people go through life not even realizing that's what it is. Not unless you're watching tarot readings or you're in therapy. But, or, again, if you're the dark-haired woman, you're maybe trying to figure out a way how to get yourself from feeling this way about this person, about this situation. We have power. We'll clarify this, because power could just mean like the magnitude of a situation, or it all just feels like too much. We'll see what power is. And then we have spiritual. So you could be realizing that this is a spiritual connection, soulmate, twin flame, knowing, looking at things from, again, a spiritual perspective, understanding it's all about lessons and karma and, you know, why you're here, and childhood wounds and overcoming things and taking control over one's life, and just understanding, again, the spiritual viewpoint of it all. And then we have forgiveness. Either you're looking to be forgiven, hoping to be forgiving, or you're trying to forgive this person. And then we have change. So wanting things to change, but again, wondering how they're going to. They say it comes from communication. And then we have bad news. This could be actual bad news, or just fearing the worst, fearing change, thinking the worst, or wanting the current bad situation to change. Let's see, power. We have Lamika, which is the friend, confidant, someone we can trust, someone who's reliable, who's there for us, who's our best friend. Maybe this person was that, but now they're feeling this way because of stuff that you've done. We have Donati, which is about finances. Again, if you've been codependent in your life, entering into relationships, or for someone else to take care of you, you know, this could have been an issue. This is also dealing with perhaps people needing money to present, you know, to change their situation, to get out of situations, have money to travel, to see this person that you want to be with. This is also about investments, you know, investing in something, mostly financial, but it could be, you know, investing in the relationship, wanting to invest. Or it's also something that's valuable. Maybe you've realized how valuable how valuable how valuable this person was to you, and what you lost. And again, you're trying to get it back, or you realize their value now, you know, and you want to invest again in this relationship, and you're wanting them to be willing to invest in you again, and you're trying to figure out a way, how do I do that? It starts with honesty, first and foremost. No more lies. No more lying for any reason, because it's does no good. It breaks trust. And when trust is broken, nobody wants to invest in somebody who's dishonest, who they can't trust. So you want to work on that. You want somebody to forgive you. It starts with no more being manipulative. You know, heal thyself so you stop hurting other people and yourself. Again, it's you or the person you deal with. Apply it as it goes. Power again. We got the Grand Constellation. Which kind of reminds me of like the Seven of Cups. Choices. All the things floating around in his head. This is also getting what we want after so long. Maybe you've been separated from this person for a long time, and you're hoping that they'll be willing to reinvest in you, or you realize their value, and even though you've been sitting on it for too long, or again, or you're hoping to get your wish or your desire in regards to this person. You know, being confused. That's why you're thinking. And we have Constellation Prize in the reverse, which means, hold on. Yep, right. It's things are not working out the way that we want, or an unexpected surprise. The reverse. Problems caused by excessive ambition, a downfall, ruin, a breakup due to lack of common interests. And again, it's because if two people aren't on the same page, it's not going to gel. It's not going to come together. And if two people are not on the same page, it's because, you know, there needs to be a change within oneself. Communication needs to be happening. No more hiding from ourselves, from truth, from whatever it is. If you're wanting forgiveness, especially if you know this person is your soulmate or your twin flame, you know, again, trying to understand that everything happened for a reason. It was to bring you attention to yourself, learn the lesson, heal yourself, so that you can have a chance to reconcile, or you can have better in your life in general. Talent. Giovine Fanciulla in the reverse. Dottore in the reverse. Your Ladro, which is the thief, who's in the upright. And then we have Eumenio, which is strong bond, union, marriage. Could be soulmate relationship, again, twin flame, but this is in reverse. So this is a dissolution of that. This is a breakdown, a breakup due to somebody's sneaky behaviors. You know, this is the thief, is someone who takes something from us, steals something. It could also be missing something or missing someone. But this is, you know, negative behaviors. And since we had the Grand Senora in reverse and the Page of Cups in reverse, you're dealing with somebody who's a bit shady and self-serving. But let me look up these other few here. Dottore is in the upright is usually about healing. Giovine Fanciulla is attraction to a young lady, but in the reverse, this is somebody who just ain't feeling it no more. You know, that's why the dark-haired woman, it's like they've lost interest. This could be you, or, you know, the person you're dealing with, they've lost interest because of what they've been met with. You know, somebody who's sneaky. So, this was on talent. So again, you're trying to figure out a way how to get this person to not see you this way anymore, to want to invest in you again. Or again, this is you. You lost interest. I think Dottore in reverse again is you know, a difficult time to heal something. Yeah, Emmanuel in reverse is unhappy union, a breakup. And Dottore in reverse is wrong diagnosis or treatment not working. Again, our ways of being, if we've been trying to still be, you know, deceptive person, it ain't working. Old ways of being gotta go. Old deceptive ways, sneaky ways, gotta go. If you want this union to come together, because right now it's not working in one's favor. See if I need anything else here. Thief, lost goods due to robbery, fraud, something of someone taken away, leaving, sneaking off, like the Seven of Swords, kind of. Dishonesty, loss, money troubles. That's why the finances might be in here too. You know, taking advantage of people because, again, in codependent situations, using them for what they're supplying you materialistic wise. If you move in, what do they call it, the hobosexual, someone that enters into relationships so they don't be homeless. That's what, you know, so you enter into codependent things on a false pretenses just because, again, you may fear being alone, so you don't want to be alone. You need somebody loving on you, doting on you, taking care of you, paying your way if you can't pay it. And sometimes when you have that, you don't have that fire under your behind to be independent. And for a lot of people, they're dealing with codependency issues or financial karma that they're needing to work through in this life to become independent. You know, they might have a bad relationship with money or always struggling or something, and that could be due to some financial karma. And that, of course, is perpetuated when we get into karmic cycles, repeating and not learning the lesson that it is us that needs to be independent, financially independent, and not be dependent on someone else for company, for a roof over the head, to pay our way, whatever it is. And that's done through deceptive means because that's not love, that's need-based. Ends justifying means, using someone to get what they can give you. And again, that's not love. That's codependency. And codependency stems from childhood wounding. So there's something that somebody's got to address here. Either this is what you've been dealing with, or this is you. Because we got down here finances and career as well. So this is a factor for a lot of people. Everybody struggles, but for some people, it's rooted in a much deeper issue. And they end up, again, hurting other people by entering into relationships for codependent reasons. You know, the mooch, the one who's, again, feeds off the host without really contributing or being manipulative or being abusive or whatever. It says you can deal with people who are narcissists. You know, it's all about what they can get. And once you don't give them no more, they look for somebody else that will do it for them. This is because they got wounding And for some of them, well, especially for narcissists, there isn't much hope, unfortunately. Um, but the advice, or the higher message here, I'm sorry, is to be grateful. As I notice and appreciate my blessings, I open the door to more of God's gifts. So it's about even appreciating the crap, because the crap is teaching you something. It's bringing attention to something that you need to address. So be even grateful for the hardships, because it's the test. And if you pass the test, if you get through it, you score points, you move on to the next level. You heal a wound, or you shed some karma that you might need to shed in your ascension process. Like I said, life is school. It's all about lessons, and to try to be grateful, like it says, even in the storms, because there's something in there that's going to, you might be weathered and weary when you come out the other side, but you'll be wiser. And that's why you went through it. And then we have mercy. I am kind and thoughtful towards myself and others. So again, if you've been walking through life in a wounded state and you're coming to those epiphanies, have mercy on yourself. Again, because we do what we do based on what we're conditioned to believe or how to behave, what we know at the time. And like I said, and through experiences, we learn. So have mercy even on yourself, for not realizing things sooner, or not addressing things sooner. It's about having compassion for ourselves. We can't beat ourselves up. All we can do is do what we can in the now, with what we know now. We can't be in the shoulda, woulda, couldas, because it won't change anything, right? And this is also about having mercy on others, being grateful again for the experience, because it taught you something. If you're the dark-haired woman, try to have mercy again on yourself, mercy for the other person, whether or not you deal with them again or not. It's trying to, again, look at things all from a spiritual perspective. Know that the two of you were brought together because you agreed to meet in this life. You had a soul contract, and it was to work through something that you needed to work through, that you might have brought in from a past life, or it could have been combined with a past life lesson, and it was compounded with the karma you accrued in this life, the situation you were born into, again, the conditioning, our behaviors, how we've maneuvered in the world, whatever it is. It's all about shedding that karma. And these difficult relationships, again, they're meant to bring you to attention to yourself. And you may hate that person for treating you that way, but if it woke you up, because pain is our greatest teacher, if it woke you up, that person did their job. They did what they were contractually obligated to do. And hopefully you do it for each other. That's the goal. But not everybody learns, and not everybody's going to learn at the same time. But the point is for you to learn, for you to grow. It isn't even dependent on other people. Whether this person comes back around, whether somebody apologizes, whether somebody holds himself accountable or not. It's about you healing you and moving forward, with or without them. Having mercy on yourself and others, having gratitude. And then we have here Mother. I open my heart to my mother's humanness and her divinity. I think this came out for the Pisces reading and for the Cancer reading. That's why I said if you've got other water elements in your chart, I suggest you look at those two readings, because this is a repeating card coming out in this area here. A lot of people have wounding stemming from childhood, lack of love, feeling neglected or abandoned or not chosen by their mother. So they might have narcissistic traits or counterdependency. Check out Richard Grannon on YouTube. He does a video about that kind of explains this push and pull thing, which is similar to what twin flames go through, the runner and the chaser, because people who are running are usually running from themselves. You know, we all run from ourselves to some degree, but it's usually one person's more aware of the connection than the other. And whenever that person holds up the mirror, or they're actually holding up the mirror for each other, because the one that's running, I mean, the one that's chasing, they got to say, well, why are you chasing somebody that's running? I said, there's a lesson for everybody. Each one is teacher and student to each other. But for some people, they said there's a childhood wounding that's stemming from their relationship with their mother. And it could again come from the fact that they felt neglected by their mother, not loved by their mother, not chosen by their mother, not feeling their mother's love. So again, whenever they enter into relationships, they might choose relationships where they don't have to really invest in the other person. It's just, again, filling voids and meeting needs. But they're not 100% there because they fear that. And when they're met with real love, they run from it because they were afraid of being hurt, because they were hurt by their mother. I said, everything is psychology and spirituality. You look on your life, you look on the patterns, things that have happened. It's all so clear. It doesn't make things easy. Sometimes it makes it more challenging. But when you understand that, the why, we said the higher message involved, it helps. Because, you know, when you get the answers to the test, you better understand the questions or the whys. You know, when you get those aha moments, when you get those understandings, and that comes through experiences, that comes through the growth that happens through these experiences. We hope. Doesn't happen for everybody. Some people are lost until they leave, and then they come back and have to repeat the same karmic stuff, including all the stuff that they racked up in this life. Oof. You don't want to do that. You want to learn it all, deal with it, and get the heck out of here, right? And the advice here is attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. Be in the present moment. If you want to attract somebody back into your life, you better open up and communicate. You better express how you feel. You better express your regrets, what you've learned, how you've grown, what efforts that you're willing to put in to make this situation work. You know, use those talents. You know, but come from a genuine place, come from a truthful place, be authentic. You know, if you want to attract that, because there is chemistry here, there's a strong magnetic attraction. So if you keep feeling drawn to this person, there's a reason for it. But the only way that you will have a chance of having this person take you back is no more Gran Signora in reverse. And then we have retreat. It's time to take. It's time to disconnect from the world. Retreat could mean like this. Gather your thoughts, figure it out, do your meditation. Retreat also can mean retreating together, spending some time together, having those conversations that need to be had, following your heart, following this draw to this person because there's a reason for it. And they want you to stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. Like I said, if you're sitting in the shoulda, woulda, couldas, if you're living in the fears, if you're staying in the same ways of being that don't work anymore, trying to be controlling, still being deceptive, whatever, they're saying get rid of all that stuff and think positively. Don't throw the shadow out in front of you because the shadow is what you're going to get back. And what you should be aware of to help bring about a positive outcome to this is we have the Well Watcher, wisdom, power of the divine. And then as a challenge, we have the Lady of Lightning, surprises, sometimes shock, total paradigm shift. This came up in the challenge position. And then the Ringmaster of Scrutiny, discernment, clear vision, and details. So let us read what these mean. The Well Watcher. The Well Watcher signals the need to go within to contemplate the true source of the power of the world, which, he reminds you, is that of the divine. This is a message to let you know that you're being called to the well And this unseen power will be there and will be yours to align with. It said, Spirit is calling you to attention to yourself because they want you to heal. They want you to be the best version of you that you can be. They don't want you to be hurt and wounded and go through life and struggle and to lose relationships and self-sabotage and think negatively about yourself, because you are loved. Not only by people here, but the universe, by God, by, your angels, your spirit guides are trying to help guide you to healing. This affirmation and prayer will invite the divine to bring miracles and resolution to your life. Thy will be done through me for the highest good of all and for the true manifestation of my purpose. Discovering, why you're here. You will know the way forward by the still small voice within. The divine also may answer your call by sending others to help guide you, like me. Or, the people in your life that are trying to hold up the mirror and show you, hey, this got to go. And mind you, like I said, nobody's perfect. Everybody's got their stuff. So if you're dealing with somebody just holding up the mirror to your stuff and not their own, that's not really working out either. Everybody plays a role, and it's important for both people to realize their roles, hold themselves accountable for their own actions, for their own choices, learn from them, grow from them, and be willing to work together to help each other become better, especially if this is a soulmate relationship that could turn into a life partnership or a twin flame relationship. This is very important. And it's an important thing for everybody to get. But, there's a deeper spiritual meaning here that you don't want to jeopardize. Again, for your own self, for your own soul's evolution, and for a chance at true love and happiness. Now, 35. The Lady of Lightning in the challenge position, unpleasant news, an unexpected shock, or an overall sense of powerlessness are the aspects you may experience when the Lady of Lightning appears as your challenger. This is a time when you may be forced to make a change you don't want to make. A situation may suddenly turn into a different direction than you'd hoped it would. This is a sign of difficulty and unwanted surprises, but consider the idea of a thunderstorm and how beautiful and charged with electricity the world is after it passes. It will always pass because that is the nature of the storm. Your difficulties will too, as that is the way of things as well. In the realm of the Lady of Lightning, it's prudent to engage the law of non-resistance, relax and wait out the storm in the shelter of your faith and goodwill, trusting that all will be well even if it doesn't seem like it in the moment. Wonderful new life has opportunity to grow when the storm passes. The Lady of Lightning would much prefer to be your ally anyway. So this is about not resisting change because of, again, holding on to ways of being that no longer serve us because that's all we've known, because that's how we've been conditioned to be due to our experiences, what love looked like to us as children, how we've been wounded in life as children or even adolescents or adults. It's, life wears on you. And change, growth, looking at oneself in the mirror, holding oneself accountable, seeing the ugly stuff that we don't want to deal with, that is tough. And a lot of people run from that. They don't want to look at it. And they're saying, don't resist the change because it's trying to show you something that has to change so that you can have the rainbow at the end of the storm. When you resist it and you want to stay stuck, you're just going to repeat. Same karmic cycles. You're going to still sitting in the woes, wondering why things are the way they are. Well, it's because you refuse to grow. You refuse to change. Change begins with you, my dear. And number 9, the Ringmaster of Scrutiny is all about the details. Look closely and pay attention to the smallest elements of what's being presented to you on your path. It's in these details, not the broad strokes, that you'll find the breathtaking beauty and perfection in what you observe. This ally is on your side to point to the deeper meaning of what unfolds in your life. So just like I was saying, the spiritual part of it. Staying present in this present moment, observing the minute things, leads you to manifest your highest good and greatest desires. Grand gestures are for other times. It's the smallest acts that really count now. And that is about, courage, gaining the courage to take off our masks, gaining the courage to speak truths, gaining the courage to work on ourselves, to look at the things we don't want to look at, to grow, to change, to move on from situations that are no longer serving us or that are keeping us unhappy or stuck within our lives, within ourselves. It's about reflecting. What is it that's got to go? And being optimistic about releasing it. Knowing that when you do, it's only going to get better from there. And the end result, or possible end, should you follow this advice, is calling in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help to bring you together. And then finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. So again, you could be dealing with financial struggles. This card also came out in this position, and somebody, I think it was either Pisces or Cancer, it could have been both, I can't recall. Some of you, if you are twin flames or soulmates that are going to turn into life partnerships, your finances and career, your career, you might have something that you do together. So the outcome, should you follow all this, is you will resolve the situation, you'll call in your soulmate, you'll heal things, and maybe this will be the next step that you do. Or they're telling you that you need to deal with that in order to be able to move, if you have to travel. And we also have forgiving and learning. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments, just like the attraction here. It's about having mercy, having compassion on ourselves, on others, forgiving ourselves and others because we now know better, or we're making an effort to do better. And that's including if this person is showing you that, for you to, again, not be the dark-haired woman or in the dark state. Be willing to forgive, learn from the experience, and love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. Now, all these, life journey, especially soulmates and twin flames, it's about, self-love, coming to a place of self-love. Because when you're wounded, you're not in a place of self-love. It's usually self-loathing to some degree. And it's about healing that, so that when you love yourself, you will then attract other people who will genuinely love you in return, because they're not coming from a wounded place either. Two wounded people coming together, that's karmic. That's something teaching you something that's got to go. So when you love yourself, you're willing to let go of those things that aren't working, and face yourself. Look in the mirror, do that reflecting, figuring out what needs to change, so that you can go for your highest and best life. And that stems from loving yourself, willing to put in that effort into yourself, whether or not you got it from your parents or not. It's about what you can do for you. And on that note, I send you love and light. I wish you healing and luck in regards to this and anything else you might be going through. Please like, subscribe, and share if you haven't already, and leave comments. Also, I put up a video. I want to start doing something the second and fourth Saturday of every month. I am looking for people to submit their questions. I'm going to start it off with kind of leaving the floor open, and depending on what the theme seems to be in regards to the questions that I receive, that will be the topic of discussion. I would also like to have it last about an hour, so I'm looking to get at least maybe 10 questions from viewers that I will answer. And I would like to end it with, a positive thought, and a meditation, little brief meditation to kind of help us on the path to healing. And I thought it would be a nice thing to do, to connect with some of you and to hopefully again be able to assist you more in the guiding ourselves back to self-love, ascension work. If you're asking questions about soulmates or twin flames or whatever it is, relationships, um, I will do my best to give the best advice that I can. And this is going to be pre-recorded for now until I see what kind of following I start to get. If it really starts to pick up, then I will do it live at some point. I would like to do it live, but I'm trying to give people at least a week and a half to submit their questions, and then I can focus on the questions, focus on a topic, kind of get it all together, and then record the video and put it up on the second or fourth Saturday. So please do submit those questions, because I would love to see if we can get a nice little community going so we can all heal ourselves, right? So until next time, take care. Bye-bye.